So we've got a good core and we've got some good youngsters coming through. So I think just give Gerrard one pre-season, a full pre-season with his players and his sort of getting his ideas across, and I think you'll see a very different Villa team.
But no, Sam, now I just wanted to ask you a bit more about basically your new signings for Aston Villa, because it's already been a very busy summer. You got Boubacar Kamara, you got Diego Carlos for Aston Villa. What are your kind of thoughts on what else Steven Gerrard really needs to replenish this summer in terms of positions, in terms of signings? Who would you like to see Aston Villa sign this summer, and why, really, Salim? Because I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I'd say it's been an amazing window so far. I've always backed the board and Langer, Christian Purslow. I've always backed them, you know, from the second they walk through the door, especially Christian Purslow, that, you know, they are trying to build something at Villa, and they are. I'd say the one thing that was quite important was, I know there was a lot of sort of talk that we needed a defensive mid, holding mid from like last season, and we didn't get one. And then in January, there was talk about Bentancur, but we didn't go for him. And, you know, we kept holding out, but the reason was the board, I did mention it before, that we were after that right player, and that right player was Boubacar Kamara. And, you know, we finally got him through the door, a position we've needed to strengthen for like years now. I can't even remember. Maybe since we had like Whelan and Jedinak in, it's been a weakness for us. And that was obviously in the Championship. I'd say that was a terrific signing. I think getting Coutinho in.
I agree. Boubacar Kamara, for everyone who's listened from the beginning, he was one of the first people I scouted on my little scout Hamz thing. And I've been saying for ages, Boubacar Kamara's Premier League quality. Is a young player coming through at Marseille. He did pretty decent in European football this season as well. I think they got to the semi-final of the Conference League as well. Got a couple of France call-ups, and the fact that he's gone to Aston Villa on a free transfer, Salim, like you said, you're buzzing for it. I'm buzzing to see him in the English Premier League, but I'm really upset because I thought Man United, if they had followed Ralf Rangnick, because Ralf Rangnick identified him as a proper improvement from Scott McTominay and Fred as well, who we actually have. But I'm really excited to see him in this team for you, Salim, because he can also play as a centre-back as well. He's someone that actually can pass forward, because he has the best passing accuracy in Ligue 1 this season, ahead of Verratti, ahead of people like Messi. Boubacar Kamara from centre-back to centre-mid is literally like the French Declan Rice, in my opinion. I think it's going to be fantastic for Aston Villa. I will come back to this because I did say Aston Villa will have some good signings as well, Simon. But you mentioned Coutinho. How happy are you to see Coutinho back in Villa Park next season as well, permanently?
Yeah, like, so when it comes to Coutinho, imagine he's taken a 70% pay cut to join Villa. That sort of shows his sort of eagerness and desire that he has, you know, to play football. So he was another terrific signing. And then the third one was Diego Carlos, which is going through. That was a bit of a shock, you know. The board are quite good at getting these deals through without any rumours at all. So he was a, you know, tough, solid centre-back. A lot of, to say, he's better than Koundé as well. So that's a massive plus. The stuff that I've read about him in La Liga, I think Sevilla have conceded the sort of third least amount of goals, I think it is, in the top 5 leagues. I think Man City had 26. I think Liverpool were there, and then I think it was them with 30. But he's been a rock at the back, and, you know, he's been a major part of them not conceding many goals. So he's been a great signing. All 3 signings have given up Champions League football to join us as well. That's quite important to point out. So far, it's so good. But in terms of going forward in the window, I reckon Olsen, the goalkeeper, he'll probably sign. I think we may go for like another centre back. So there was talk about Sven Botman joining. Oh God. Yeah,
another one of my guys that I've been scouting for ages. And I thought, you know what, it'd be really good to go into a top team. He's League 1 champion with Lille last season as well. He's quite pacey for a tall bloke, 6'4", I think he is as well. Dutch international, ridiculous talent on the ball as well. He can ping it from literally crossfield. So literally, it'd be an improvement on Tyrone Mings, but he's been linked with Newcastle and Aston Villa as well, isn't it, Salim? So it's one of those that if you do get him, it'll be a big signing for you guys.
I think AC Milan as well are linked with him, but he's somebody that everyone's after. He's a young lad. I think he's 22 or 24. Yeah. Remember, but he'd be one that I'd want to get through the door. Then there's always talk of Bissouma. I think he's our sort of key target now.
He's your marquee signing if you get him as well.
Yeah, he's sort of a box to box, and obviously we bid 25 million for him in Jan, but they wanted 40 then, and now he's sort of got a year left on his contract, so we should be able to get that. I reckon we'll get him over the line. And then there's sort of talk of like another attacking player. So Jonathan David was one that was linked. Another one was Gerrard Moreno, and the Luis Suarez links aren't ending either. But yeah, for me, I think another potentially, I mean, there was that left back as well from, is it Sampdoria, Hickey?
Yeah, Aaron Hickey. Is he from Bologna?
Bologna, sorry, not Sampdoria. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we could do with maybe another Bissouma and maybe another attacking player, another defensive player, and that's it for us. We've got a lot of like good youngsters like Kessler Hayden that can come through at right back. We've got Josh Feeney as a quality centre back. We've got Ben Christine is a left back. We've got obviously Jacob Ramsey's come through, brother Aaron Ramsey, and Chukwuemeka, who we're hoping does sign a new deal. And then we've still got Cameron Archer and Louis Barry as well, amongst some others. So we've got a good core and we've got some good youngsters coming through. So I think just give Gerrard one pre-season, a full pre-season with his players and his sort of getting his ideas across. And I think you'll see a very different Villa team next season, because we did see glimpses of it, but it just wasn't consistent enough and it wasn't on a game-by-game basis. It just didn't pull through. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting times at Villa, and you know, hopefully we can push towards the next step and then the next step, because the owners have got, you know, sort of a massive commitment they've put, and they've backed their commitment, as they've shown their commitment by, you know, pumping money in and supporting the board and the players and the team wherever they can.
If you could choose one attacker to sign with Gerrard's system that he plays, do you think you need another centre forward, or probably a winger, or like a second striker to support Coutinho? Who would you want to go for personally, Sam? Just so I could know.
Well, you know, a lot of fringe players are going out, so like Bertrand Traore and El Ghazi and Trezeguet and these guys. So I think it'd be nice to get a striker winger type, like a John David, someone that can play out wide and sort of up, like, you know, can play up top too. But yeah, preferably like a really good pacey sort of wide man that can play up top as well. Someone a bit kind of like Leon Bailey is, but maybe a bit more of a forward than Bailey, because he's more of a winger. But so something like that would be ideal. But yeah, the thing is, some people say, oh, you can't have all these players, but you know, you need options, especially with such a long season and injuries and, you know, form dipping in and out. And again, you can give teams things to worry about, because if they know, like, you know, back when we had Grealish, we were just sort of a one-trick kind of team. Everyone knew, just look up, give it to him and he'll pull something out. But we have become more rounded now, especially with, you know, Buendia is probably our best player now, I'd say, and having him and Coutinho so creative with all these other players too, we're complete different team now. Like Jacob Ramsey's come on like leaps and bounds this season. That was it. So like I said, like I'm quite open. I don't mind, you know, whoever the board bring in. You know, I'm backing the board and I back Gerrard, and I'm sure they'll make the right choice. We've made some good signings over the last few years. You know, where sort of players' values have been increasing and we're getting good usage out of them. I know it's been a bit tough for some players this season, like Bailey and Ings at times, but even Buendia, you know, they've all shone through in the end. And sometimes players just need time to adapt. You know, a completely different league, Premier League. It's different to anything they've ever experienced before.